In the bustling neon-lit streets of Seoul, Jun Park stood beneath the massive holographic billboards, his reflection fragmented across digital screens that once celebrated his rising music career. At 26, he had been the promise of Korean hip-hop, a talent that seemed destined to break through international barriers. Cosmic Horizon Records had signed him 3 years ago with grand promises of global recognition. They spoke of interstellar tours, galactic music festivals, and transforming his raw urban sound into something that would resonate across different planetary cultures. But something had gone terribly wrong. His latest album, which should have been his breakthrough, had been systematically dismantled. Every track felt stripped of its original soul, reduced to a bland, lifeless composition that barely resembled his authentic style. The beats he had crafted with passion now sounded like they were engineered by emotionless machines. Jun remembered the first time he noticed the changes. During a private listening session, the label's alien representatives, sleek, silver-skinned beings with translucent eyes, had methodically altered his music. They claimed it needed universal appeal, but Jun knew they were removing its heart. His manager, a human named Kim Seok, had become increasingly distant. When Jun confronted him about the musical alterations, Seok would only mumble about contractual obligations and the importance of maintaining good relationships with their extraterrestrial investors. The money was good. Too good, in fact. Royalty checks arrived like clockwork, deposited directly into accounts that seemed more like digital traps than genuine compensation. Jun felt like a puppet, his artistic integrity slowly being dismantled with each released track. One rainy evening, while reviewing his contract in his small apartment, Jun discovered hidden clauses written in a complex algorithmic language. Most artists would have overlooked them, but his years of studying digital production had trained his eye to recognize intricate patterns. The contract wasn't just a music agreement. It was a sophisticated mechanism of cultural control. Cosmic Horizon wasn't merely a record label. They were conducting a systematic suppression of human artistic expression across multiple star systems. His music was just one small piece of a much larger, more sinister puzzle. Each manipulated track carried subliminal frequencies designed to subtly reduce human creativity. The aliens weren't just managing music. They were engineering cultural submission. Jun's hands trembled as he compiled evidence, screen recordings, audio comparisons, contract details. He was building a case that seemed almost too incredible to believe. How could a simple hip-hop artist uncover a galactic conspiracy? His apartment walls were covered with digital screens, each displaying different pieces of his investigation. Sound waves, contract snippets, communication logs, a complex web that told a story far beyond music. The street below hummed with the typical Seoul nightlife. Delivery drones zipped between buildings, holographic advertisements flickered, and young people walked by, unaware of the potential cultural warfare happening above them. Jun knew he couldn't fight this alone. He needed allies, people who understood both the musical and technological aspects of what he had discovered. His next move would be crucial. One wrong step could mean complete erasure of his findings. As dawn broke, casting soft light across his evidence-laden room, Jun made a decision. He would expose Cosmic Horizon, no matter the personal cost. His music had always been about truth, about representing the unheard voices. Now that mission had expanded far beyond anything he could have imagined. The first rays of sunlight caught the metallic surface of his recording equipment, reflecting a determination that would soon challenge an entire interstellar system of cultural manipulation. Jun Park was no longer just a rapper. He had become something more, a potential revolutionary, standing at the edge of a discovery that could change everything. In the cramped basement of an abandoned music studio in Seoul's industrial district, Hara Kim adjusted her communication equipment. Her fingers moved quickly across encrypted screens, scanning through layers of digital noise and hidden frequencies. She was hunting for something specific, a signal that most would consider impossible to detect. Jun's leaked evidence had started circulating through underground digital networks, Musicians, hackers, and artists who had felt something was wrong with the entertainment industry were now paying attention. They recognized the patterns of suppression that June had uncovered. Hara wasn't just a sound engineer. She was a digital resistance specialist who had been tracking unusual music industry patterns for years. Her small team consisted of 5 individuals, each from different parts of the world, connected through secure communication channels that avoided traditional internet routes. The basement looked like a chaotic mix of old music equipment and advanced technological hardware. Speakers from different decades stood next to quantum decryption servers. Old vinyl records hung alongside holographic communication panels. It was a space that bridged multiple technological generations. When June's encrypted message first arrived, Hara knew it was different. Most artists who complained about record labels were frustrated, but June had actual proof, complex algorithmic evidence that suggested a coordinated effort to control human artistic expression. "This isn't just about music anymore," Hara told her team during their first virtual meeting. "This is about cultural preservation." They began mapping the connections. Cosmic Horizon wasn't just manipulating one artist or one genre. Their interference stretched across multiple planets and artistic domains. Music, visual arts, performance, all were being subtly controlled. June's hip-hop tracks contained hidden data packets. Each beat, each rhythmic pattern carried encoded information about the alien record label's activities. It was brilliant, using the very medium of suppression as a communication tool. Their resistance strategy was simple but complex. They would use music itself as a weapon. By creating tracks that contained specific frequency ranges and embedded communication protocols, they could spread their message across vast distances. One of Hara's team members, a Brazilian digital artist named Rafael, had developed a unique audio encryption method. By manipulating sound waves at microscopic levels, they could hide complex messages within seemingly ordinary musical compositions. The team's first major breakthrough came when they successfully redirected a mainstream music streaming platform's recommendation algorithm. For 72 hours, independent artists from around the world saw their music promoted instead of corporate-controlled content. It was a small victory, but it proved their method could work. June became their primary field agent. His reputation as a musician gave him access to networks that traditional hackers could never penetrate. Every performance, every released track became a potential communication channel. The aliens controlling Cosmic Horizon didn't realize they had created their own vulnerability. By attempting to suppress human creativity, they had underestimated the adaptive and revolutionary potential of artistic expression. Hara understood something fundamental. Art was never just about entertainment. It was about communication, resistance, and human connection. Music could cross barriers that traditional communication methods could never breach. Their operation remained deliberately decentralized. No single member knew the complete plan. If one was discovered, the entire network could continue functioning. It was a digital guerrilla resistance, using creativity as its primary weapon. As weeks passed, more artists began joining their network. Musicians, painters, dancers, creators from every artistic domain started embedding resistance messages in their work. What had started as June's personal fight was becoming a global movement. The basement continued to buzz with activity. Servers processed encrypted communications, sound waves danced across monitoring screens, and a quiet revolution was being engineered, one musical note at a time. Hara looked at a wall covered with global network maps, small red strings connecting different resistance nodes. They were building something unprecedented, a creative rebellion that transcended traditional boundaries of art, technology, and interstellar politics. The real battle was just beginning. The Quantum Communication Center hummed with intense energy as June and Hara prepared their most ambitious technological counterattack. Their makeshift laboratory, hidden within an abandoned satellite research facility, contained an array of modified music production equipment that looked more like advanced scientific machinery. Each piece of equipment had been carefully repurposed, Synthesizers now functioned as frequency disruptors. Mixing boards transformed into complex communication interceptors. What appeared to be ordinary music production tools were actually sophisticated weapons designed to penetrate alien communication networks. June's expertise in hip-hop production merged perfectly with Hara's technological understanding. They realized that sound waves could be manipulated beyond human hearing ranges, creating communication channels that the alien record label couldn't easily detect or block. Their first target was Cosmic Horizon's primary communication network. By embedding specific audio frequencies within seemingly standard musical tracks, they could introduce viral data packets that would gradually destabilize the alien control systems. Rafael, their Brazilian team member, had developed an ingenious algorithm that could disguise complex computer code within musical rhythms. A standard 4-minute track could now carry terabytes of encrypted resistance information, appearing to be nothing more than an ordinary song. The team discovered that the alien record label's communication systems relied on specific harmonic frequencies. By introducing carefully crafted audio signatures, they could create micro-interruptions in their network infrastructure. During their initial tests, they managed to temporarily disrupt a global music streaming platform controlled by Cosmic Horizon. For 48 hours, independent artists saw unprecedented exposure, their music breaking through algorithmic barriers that had previously suppressed them. June's latest track became their primary transmission vehicle. On the surface, it appeared to be a standard hip-hop composition: aggressive beats, complex rhythms, and powerful vocal delivery. Underneath, it carried a sophisticated digital payload designed to exploit vulnerabilities in the alien communication network. Hara monitored multiple holographic screens, tracking the track's digital journey across different planetary networks. Each play, each stream became a potential point of infiltration. The music was no longer just art. It was a weapon of technological resistance. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They understood technological control but failed to comprehend the human capacity for creative adaptation. Every attempt to suppress artistic expression only made humans more innovative in their resistance. Their team had members across different continents, each contributing unique skills. A sound engineer in Lagos, a quantum physicist in Tokyo, a digital artist in Sao Paulo. They were a distributed network of creative rebels united by a single purpose. The technological counterattack wasn't just about disruption. It was about creating an alternative communication infrastructure that could exist independently of alien control. Each musical transmission carried the potential to liberate not just artistic expression, but entire communication systems. Cosmic Horizon's monitoring systems began showing unprecedented anomalies: strange data fluctuations, unexpected network interruptions, communication channels that seemed to shift and change unpredictably. Their carefully constructed control mechanism was being systematically dismantled. June understood the risk. If they were discovered, the consequences would be severe. The alien record label had resources that could easily crush their resistance. But he also knew that staying silent was no longer an option. As another track uploaded to global streaming platforms, Hara gave a slight smile. What looked like a simple music release was actually a sophisticated digital invasion, carrying coded messages of resistance across multiple star systems. The technological war had begun, and music was their primary weapon. The galactic broadcast networks erupted with unexpected transmissions. What began as a localized resistance had transformed into a full-scale cultural rebellion spanning multiple planetary systems. June's music became more than sound. It was a weapon of mass communication. Each track contained embedded frequencies that bypassed traditional communication barriers, spreading a message of human creative resistance across star systems. Artists from Earth and human colonies started incorporating similar transmission techniques, creating a complex network of musical rebellion. Cosmic Horizon's alien executives watched in growing panic as their carefully constructed cultural suppression system began to crumble. Human artists were no longer passive content creators, but active resistance fighters using creativity as their primary weapon. The rebellion strategy was brilliantly simple. By embedding complex data packets within musical compositions, they could communicate, organize, and disrupt alien communication networks simultaneously. A 3-minute hip-hop track could now carry encrypted resistance messages, strategic information, and technological disruption codes. Raphael's quantum encryption techniques allowed messages to travel through seemingly ordinary audio transmissions. A dance track from Brazil could contain communication protocols that would be invisible to alien monitoring systems. A classical composition from Europe might carry strategic resistance coordinates. Hara's team had transformed artistic expression into a sophisticated communication platform. Musicians became frontline resistance fighters, their creativity serving as both a cultural statement and a technological weapon. Cosmic Horizon's response was predictable but ineffective. They attempted to block specific frequencies, but human artists would immediately adapt, creating new transmission methods faster than the aliens could develop counter-strategies. The rebellion spread quickly. Independent artists across different human colonies began producing music that contained resistance messages. Underground concerts became secret communication hubs. Musical performances transformed into strategic planning sessions. June realized they had created something unprecedented, a decentralized resistance movement that couldn't be easily tracked or destroyed. Each artist was a potential communication node, each performance a potential resistance transmission. The alien record label's communication networks started showing massive disruption. Their control algorithms, designed to suppress human creativity, began failing. What they had considered a simple entertainment management system was now under constant attack. Human technologists and artists collaborated in ways never seen before. A sound engineer in Seoul might work with a quantum physicist in New Tokyo to develop a new transmission technique. A visual artist in Sao Paulo could create an encryption method that would be implemented by musicians in London. Cosmic Horizon's monitoring systems became increasingly chaotic. Their supposedly secure communication channels were being systematically compromised. Each attempt to regain control only revealed more vulnerabilities in their system. The rebellion wasn't just about music anymore. It had become a full-scale cultural and technological war. Human creativity was proving to be a more powerful weapon than any traditional military strategy. June understood the profound significance of their movement. They weren't just fighting a record label. They were challenging an entire system of cultural suppression. Music had become a language of resistance, a method of communication that transcended traditional boundaries. During a critical broadcast, June introduced a transmission that would become legendary across human colonies. His latest track contained not just a musical composition, but a complete blueprint of Cosmic Horizon's suppression strategies. Within hours, the information had spread across multiple planetary networks. The alien executives realized they had underestimated human potential. What they considered a simple entertainment management system had transformed into a complex resistance network that could not be easily dismantled. Artists were no longer just content creators. They had become technological revolutionaries, using creativity as their primary weapon of communication and resistance. As the galactic broadcast networks continued to transmit increasingly complex resistance messages, it became clear that the rebellion was just beginning. Cosmic Horizon had created the very weapon that would ultimately lead to its destruction: human creativity. The music played on, each note a potential strike against systematic oppression. The final broadcast began with a simple beat, a rhythm that would echo across multiple star systems. June stood on a massive holographic stage, his silhouette projected simultaneously on thousands of planetary networks. Cosmic Horizon's central communication hub collapsed dramatically. Years of carefully constructed cultural control mechanisms disintegrated within minutes. What had started as a personal struggle against a record label had transformed into a complete systematic revolution. Hara's team had prepared for this moment. Their complex network of artists, hackers, and resistance fighters had strategically positioned themselves to maximize the impact of their final transmission. Each musical frequency carried not just sound, but a powerful message of human potential. The alien executives watched in horror as their elaborate suppression system fell apart. Their technology, which had controlled artistic expression for decades, became suddenly obsolete. Human creativity had proven to be the most unpredictable and powerful weapon in the galaxy. June's music became more than a performance. It was a complete communication protocol that simultaneously disrupted alien communication networks, transmitted resistance information, and inspired human artists across different planetary colonies. Raphael's quantum encryption techniques allowed the transmission to penetrate even the most secure alien communication barriers. What appeared to be a simple musical performance carried terabytes of strategic information, organizational protocols, and cultural restoration methods. The holographic stage showed June not just as a musician, but as a symbol of human resistance. Behind him, images of artists from different human colonies flickered, each representing a different aspect of creative expression that had been systematically suppressed. Cosmic Horizon's monitoring systems went completely dark. Their sophisticated control algorithms, designed to manipulate and suppress human creativity, suddenly became useless lines of broken code. Artists who had been marginalized suddenly found themselves at the center of a galactic cultural revolution. Musicians, painters, dancers, and digital creators became the new revolutionary leaders. Creativity was no longer just entertainment. It was a powerful form of communication and resistance. The transmission lasted exactly 17 minutes and 42 seconds. In that short time, it completely dismantled the alien record label's infrastructure, exposed their decades-long cultural manipulation, and established a new framework for artistic expression across human colonies. Hara watched from their hidden communication center, her fingers dancing across complex monitoring systems. Each second of the transmission carried multiple layers of encrypted information, systematically destroying the alien control mechanisms. The galactic communication networks erupted with celebration. Human colonies that had been culturally isolated suddenly found themselves connected through a shared experience of artistic rebellion. What Cosmic Horizon had attempted to suppress had instead become a powerful unifying force. June's final musical composition was more than just a performance. It was a comprehensive blueprint for cultural restoration. Hidden within its complex rhythms were communication protocols, technological restoration methods, and a vision for future artistic freedom. As the transmission concluded, the holographic stage dissolved, leaving behind a simple message: human creativity cannot be controlled. The alien record label's headquarters went silent. Their communication systems, which had controlled artistic expression for generations, were now nothing more than complex but useless technological relics. Artists across different human colonies began celebrating. What had started as a localized resistance had transformed into a complete cultural revolution. Creativity had proven to be more powerful than any technological control mechanism. June understood that their victory was about more than defeating a record label. They had demonstrated that human potential, when expressed through creativity, could overcome even the most sophisticated systems of suppression. The galaxy would never be the same. Human artistic expression had become a powerful, uncontrollable force, a communication method that transcended traditional technological barriers. Music played on, each note a testament to human potential.